It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Overtone Brewing Company, and it's a can of their Dragon Fruit Gose, coming in at 5% ABV. There's a look at the can. Without further ado, let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass then. Ho ho ho! Look at the colour on this. And the hiss. Have a listen. It's actually, I think, going to hold some kind of head, this beer, which is, for these styles of beer, the sour beers out there, it's a bit of a peculiar thing. Normally the head dissipates really quickly. It looks lovely. Really lovely looking beer. Really juicy red, kind of plum coloured beer with a 1 to 2 finger slightly off white head. Good levels of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Let's get the aroma. Whoa. Wow. Really fruity. Really fruity beer. I don't think I've ever come across dragon fruit before, hence the reason I'm saying really fruity. I can't just stand here and go, oh yeah, it smells of dragon fruit. I've never had it before, so I'm gonna call it fruity. If I was to compare it to another fruit, it's almost like a rhubarb or a red currant or a red grape, something like that, a red flavoured fruit, if that makes any kind of sense. Quite a bit of funkiness in there. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. Oh wow. Oh. Oh. Wow, that's sour. Oh, blimey, really sour beer. Crazy kind of, it reminds me of a Flanders red ale. It makes me want to itch my eyeballs. Wow. Amazing and super juicy and super refreshing. And right now, as I'm speaking now, there's that wonderful... What happens with the sour beer is you get a smack load of flavour right up front, and then it all kind of... It's all not over in an instant, but it's all over quite quickly. And what you're left with is like the remnants of flavour, and that's the beginnings, the body of the beer, if you like, the malt. You get a real nice kind of wheaty, malty finish on the beer. After all that craziness of a beginning. Carbonation hisses and fizzes on your palate, moves the beer around the inside of the mouth, helps to explode the beer on your palate. First time drinking dragon fruit. It's a lovely fruit, it really is. I'll have to try and find... I watched a Grand Prix recently and they were in, where were they? Malaysia, somewhere like that, and they had a weird fruit which they smelled... I can't remember. I think that might have been dragon fruit. I don't know. I'll have to re-watch the Grand Prix. It was the Sky F1, one of the features they had before the race. They were travelling around on mopeds, and they pulled off at a stand where they were selling these weird fruits, and they stank. These fruits stank. It was in an Asian country. They were from Japan. It might have been Japan. Might have been Japan. Oh, but it's sharp, lovely, kind of funky. Gose is the style where there's a little bit of salt added to the beer. It's part of the style of the beer, a little bit of salt added. I've had Gose before where they've added too much salt and it's like seawater. It's awful. They've got the salt levels right in this beer. It's enough to give a slightly salty finish, but not enough, which is good, that it don't become like drinking seawater, like that awful, when you go swimming in the sea and you take a mouthful of seawater. It's one of the worst things ever. It was one of the big breweries. I had one of their beers and it was awful. Like one of the big craft brewers as well. Somebody like Brooklyn or something. It was awful. Gose, it was like seawater. This is lovely, very refreshing, very drinkable, nicely carbonated, a real fizzer, a real bomb of a flavour. What happens as well is your palate, I'm not going crazy as I was in the beginning of the review, because your palate gets used to the style of beer. It adjusts to the style. So I'm like, this is just nice now. I'm happy standing here in my kitchen, drinking this lovely flavoured fruited Gose. Let's see what the brewers say on the side of the can. The hops are Citra, malts, malted wheat, extra pale malt, chit malt, not with an S, and acidulated malt. That gives that kind of acid kind of flavour on the back end. The yeast is California ale, dragon fruit, prickly pear, passion fruit, Indian coriander, and pink Himalayan salt. There's the salt. So yeast stroke adjuncts in the beer. They're from Glasgow in the United Kingdom, 5% ABV, well worth a try. Overtone Brewing Company's Dragon Fruit Gose. I'm going to rate it. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!